the starting of the session. Also setting up our live stream. So that should take a second, I think. Yeah. All right, let me also quickly look at the introductions on the chat here. I see Asma has joined us from Bangalore, India. Brian has joined us from Kenya, and Anu from Kerala, Muti from India. I see Faizan has joined us from Pakistan, Shameen from Saudi Arabia, and John Siada from India. Come from Cameroon, and someone says, Brent says hello from Colorado. Great, thank you so much. Please keep the introductions coming in. We'll be starting the career masterclass here. We have a very interesting, topic lined up for you, which is the career masterclass AI engineer versus data scientist. We'll be talking about a comparison of these roles. What exactly do these roles cover in terms of skills, roles, and opportunities? And we'll be talking more about what exactly is going on in the industry. And followed by that, we'll be talking about the Brown University program. So more about that. So moving on to the next slide quickly. So we have a few ground rules here for the session. These ground rules are to make sure that you have an amazing experience during the webinar, even after the webinar as well. So the first ground rule here for the session is you have to put on your questions in the Q&A box. And the second ground rule for the session is this session is being recorded. So what happens is, in case you miss anything during the session, we send you a mail with the recording link to view, which you can expect within 24 to 48 hours post webinar. And also for attending the session, there is a webinar certificate. So to request a proof of attendance for this webinar, you'll have to enter your full name in the webinar poll towards the end. So this session is 60 minutes long. So in case you're looking for the webinar certificate, you can basically wait till the end and help us with the name which you would want to see on the certificate. I'll also share these ground rules on the chat as well, just in case, because I saw the numbers was increasing as I'm speaking. We have a very high attendance, folks, and a lot of amazing, introductions on the chat here. And AI has already entered the chat. I can see AI assistants are already there taking up the notes. So yeah, quickly moving on to the agenda of today's session, talking about you. So the first and the most important agenda is about you, getting to know you a little better, how we can help you out in your career better. And the second agenda is today's career masterclass, a comparison of AI engineer versus data scientist job role. And we'll be talking about the skills, the tools and opportunities, talking about what's going on in the industry as well, and what does the market look like as well. And followed by that, we'll be moving on to the program introduction of Brown University program, applied AI in data science. And we'll be talking about what exactly this program offers, how exactly this program gets you future ready. And based on the interest you share towards enrollment, we'll be talking about the enrollment steps here, taking you through the details and what alumni are saying as well before that. And last but not the least, the Q&A. So the Q&A is secured towards the end, but I'm pretty sure you will have questions throughout the session. And for that, what we have done is that you can move your questions toward Q&A, because we have a really high attendance right now. As I'm speaking, there are hundreds of folks who have joined us. And you can see the chat box is completely blowing up. So we wouldn't want to miss any of your queries here. So yeah, I'll share the ground rules in the chat as well. Just allow me some time, because I see a lot of new folks are joining in. So I don't want you to miss them. And I'll be there to help you in the chat in case you face any issues. So don't worry about that. And as I mentioned that, the first agenda is about you, getting to know a little bit about you. So now, along with your amazing introductions, we would also love to know how many years of experience do you currently have? When I'm talking about experience, I'm talking about work experience. I've launched the poll here on Zoom. Folks who have joined us on Zoom can vote from the 4 options which you're seeing right now on the screen. You can select the most suitable option, which basically is for, for a number of years of experience you have. And for folks who are watching us live on a YouTube channel, you can let us know on the YouTube live chat box. I see folks here on Zoom are also sharing it on the webinar chat box. That's great. But you can also quickly go and vote on the poll which is launched. So folks who have joined from their laptop or desktop, you should be able to see that as a pop-up. where you can easily go and submit it. Folks who have joined from their mobile or a browser on mobile, you should be able to see the basically poll on the options section there. Let me know if you're facing any issues. Awesome. I see most of you responded, but let's give 10 more seconds for the folks who are still responding. So a poll which is live right now, I was asking you how many years of experience do you currently have? And you can select for the four options which you can see on the screen. First one is currently studying. Second one, 0 to 3 years. And third one, 3 to 5 years. And fourth one, more than 5 years. Awesome. I think let's close this poll in the next 5 seconds. So 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll and also share the results with you folks and our expert, Balsamiq. Let's see, what have you voted for? 37% of you are currently studying and 36% of you have more than 5 years experience. Interesting. A very balanced crowd here of freshers and experienced professionals. 20% of you have 0 to 3 years of experience and 7% of you have 3 to 5 years experience. And a lot more responses on the chat still coming and on the YouTube live chat box as well. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now with this, I would like to move on to our speaker introduction here. I would like to welcome our speaker expert, Basil Daklala, who is a data analytics and engineering senior manager. He has led 3 teams in marketing and growth analytics, reporting and visualization, and DQA and automation. And he's been building advanced analytics applications for internal business users and healthcare clients. And he's conducted training sessions for 500 plus employees and consultants in the industry. And he's a Simplilearn trainer for Caltech, UT Dallas, and Purdue University, and many more other programs. So thank you so much, Basil, for joining us. It's always a pleasure hosting you. I am pretty sure the folks here would love to know a little bit about you from you as well.
Yeah, thank you, Rasha, and glad to be here. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a good one so far. Yeah, so as Rasha stated, basically I do have a vast experience in data analytics in general, and specifically for building applications, end-to-end applications. And when we say end-to-end, basically think about all the ingredients that are needed to build an advanced analytics application. So starting from collecting data, organizing it, aggregating it, prepping it for any machine learning or advanced analytics application, or even building a dashboard, all the way to deployment and sharing it with our end users.
Thank you so much, Basil, for your introduction. And I see a lot of energy from the crowd here. We have a really high attendance, so let's quickly start the session. Starting with the career masterclass role here, a comparison of AI engineer versus data scientist, the skills, the roles, and the opportunities. Starting with what exactly does an AI engineer do?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and just to give you an introduction, for data scientists and AI engineers, they are both considered rock stars in the AI world, okay? And we are going to see eventually, when we look at that comparison, we're going to see some overlapping between the two roles. But that our purpose here is to show the overlap plus the distinction. That way, if you're trying to make a career move or a transition, we want to make sure that you have a broad spectrum of or understanding of both roles and what they do. So to start off with AI engineer, think always of AI engineer as the builder, the person that is helping put together the platform and what we call a pipeline. Pipeline is an industry term for the process that starts from the beginning of the data aggregation or the data, let's say, application, where you gather raw data and then you take it all the way to deploying a machine learning system. So with AI engineers, you develop, you maintain the AI system, and then you focus also on creating those, fine-tuning those systems and making sure that the pipeline is working properly. Okay. And then in that aspect, you have to have some knowledge and experience with sensing, reasoning, perceiving, and learning from that system and be able to fine tune it and improve it. Okay. And then you should always look into ways of how we can do better, how we can add more enhancements to our machine learning system. And we understand that businesses change, data, information, all that stuff changes over time. So you need to pay attention or make sure that your machine learning algorithm or your system is up to date with new data trends and fine-tuned as things change over time. And that involves having experience with how neural networks work, computer vision, uh, linguistic processing, or another term for it is NLP, natural language processing. And then you will also be collaborating with a lot of stakeholders that work or own the system that you are maintaining. And that way you can also talk about rooms for improvement.
Thank you so much for shedding some light on that. Now moving on to what exactly does a data scientist do different from an AI engineer?
Yeah. And think of data scientists as, and this is where the overlap happens, is that where those data scientists, they have knowledge and information about how systems work, but their main focus is on creating stuff. Think of this, they are the researchers. As the name entails, scientist, you are a researcher. You're basically a person that has access to uh, lots of data and has some domain expertise, knows how to navigate through different data sources and sophisticated tools. So you have those tools like we'll look into a comparison of what skill set we need to, or what skill set defines a data scientist. And those skills will help you navigate through the complexity of the data so you can extract that information and derive meaningful insights, whether it's going to be a dashboard or building a machine learning application, right? Or even some basic statistical analysis. It doesn't have to include advanced machine learning in some cases. Sometimes simple statistical analysis will be sufficient. So with that, you need to have knowledge in mathematics, statistics, and computer science.
Thank you so much. Moving on to the next slide, which is a comparison of the roles and responsibilities of an AI engineer and a data scientist.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this table because it does get straight to the point of the contrast between the two roles here. So you have on the left side, the AI engineer. They're, as I mentioned earlier, they are builders, right? So they are involved in building and deploying those AI systems. So they are included in every stage of that deployment. And sometimes they do have this collaboration with what we call data engineers or DBAs. Those data engineers and DBAs are the ones that basically facilitate the data repository, or we call it data warehouse. There are a lot of terminologies there, and data lakes, that's another one. So an AI engineer will connect with these individuals or teams to establish the foundation of the AI system. Okay. On the other hand, the data scientist doesn't need to get involved in that process. They basically consume the data. The data is ready for them. Now, in some scenarios, and this happens even for my team, you need additional information or you need specific structure for the data. And that's where you have to communicate with the AI engineer and the DBA or the data engineers to help you with that process. All right. And then the other aspect is back to the objective here is that you want to develop the intelligent systems and the machine learning system to be successful and let's say working as a fine-tuned machine. So you have to also work on putting some checks and balances throughout the different stages of your system. On the other hand, for a data scientist, yes, you want to make sure when you are doing your research, you're thinking about how can you make your system to be successful when it gets deployed, but your sole focus is on exploring the data. So there's a big aspect of a data scientist. One of the main tasks is to do EDA, stands for exploratory data analysis. And this is where you are looking into underlying patterns, trends, behaviors, specific behavior for your population, where you can derive some actionable insights. So again, what would help you understand the difference between the two is that AI engineer is the implementer slash builder, and then the data scientist is the prototyper slash researcher, okay? And both teams, I see both AI engineers and data scientist roles collaborating with stakeholders. The difference here is that with data scientists, you're collaborating with stakeholders to uh, explain your proof of concept. You're basically introducing a new concept or system for the first time to the company and the clients, right? On the other hand, for AI engineer, you are communicating with stakeholders to ensure that there is um, perfect optimization for your system and it's performing well, okay? Industries, I think both are available in the same industries, healthcare, finance, tech companies. Both roles are in every industry pretty much. And you see now AI, every company now, if it wants to stay on the competitive edge and stay relevant, for lack of a better term, you have to embed AI in your business. So I see both roles being on high demand in every industry. And then some examples of AI engineers, you have the machine learning engineer, you have also AI research scientist. This is a little bit different, I would say, because you are basically helping with improving the system in terms of coming up with new functionality, coming up with new programming library. Like if you're using Python, you come up with, let's say, an additional functionality in using PyTorch, for example. Okay. And then you have computer vision engineers. Those are specialized with computer vision, machine learning algorithms, specifically for convolutional neural networks. On the other hand, for data scientists, you might have some variations of it. Data analyst, I would say this is more like of the most, I would say the simplest form of a data scientist. They do possess the skills to analyze the data, but they don't have the skills to deploy machine learning algorithms and advanced statistical analysis, right? So they can do some statistical analysis, but not as advanced as a data scientist. Yeah.
Great. Moving on to the next slide here, talking about the key skills comparison.
Yeah. And these are examples of what we think is the most common in the industry, but they may differ sometimes. So you see here for an AI engineer, well, both scientists or both roles need to have the same, let's say, tool for deploying machine learning. So if the AI engineer and the data science are working together, they need to make sure that both are working in the same data science or machine learning language, like Python, for example, here. So if the data scientist develops an application or a machine learning model using Python, the AI engineer needs to also know Python in order to deploy it. Okay. And if the data science develops it in R, which is another language for machine learning and data science, then the AI engineer needs to also deploy it in R. But you'll see now the difference with AI engineers that you need to have experience in Java and C++. This is where the deployment aspects shines, right? Because you need to have some advanced programming skills because you are basically putting all the pieces together. You're grabbing the component from Python with the component from Java, where it ties all these steps together from gathering data, uh, putting it on in a production system, and then doing all these checks and balances that I mentioned. So packaging the system into one component. In terms of machine learning, both need to have deep understanding of machine learning algorithms and their frameworks. So you have stuff like TensorFlow and PyTorch for deep learning. On top of that, the data scientist needs to have some advanced statistical knowledge. So for machine learning, you have to differentiate And we run into that situation sometimes where some problems can be solved with statistical analysis rather than machine learning. And that's where the data scientists need to differentiate between the two approaches. Okay. So just think about these two aspects, is that there's an overlap, a lot of overlap, but the distinction is that as a data scientist, it's up to you to choose the approach and the tool and the framework. Okay. And then for system design, you need to definitely, for AI engineer, it's very required. Again, always think about the word as a builder. So you need to have that knowledge. For data scientists, you need to have experience in data manipulation, data wrangling, the data analysis, and processing information. Data visualization is required for both, but I would say it's more important for a data scientist because back to the point that I mentioned earlier, as a data scientist, once you finish your prototype, you need to present it with your stakeholders, and you need to have some insightful visuals to present your findings. And then also, when you do your exploratory data analysis, you need to have some good, solid visual or visualization skills to be able to explore any patterns or any anomalies in your data. The last piece here for deployment, as a data scientist, you don't have to worry much about deployment, but you need to have some basic understanding because you don't want to use tools that are not available in the production system for your company. On the other hand, for AI engineer, you're always involved in deployment and you're always involved in making sure your system is compatible with any application that comes your way that you need to deploy.
Yes. Moving on to the next slide here, talking about the career paths and opportunities here. So before we start talking about the slide, we would love to know from the learners here, aspiring learners here, right? I see a lot of excitement on the chat here. So can we ask them like, what career path in AI or data science they are aspiring for, or they are already, working on, in that particular field? Can you let us know by responding on the chat, like which AI or data science career you are aspiring for before we go to this slide? Okay, let's do a comparison. Do you want to be an AI engineer or a data scientist? Quick on the chat. Quickly respond. Like, do you want to be an AI engineer or a data scientist? If we are comparing these two roles right now. Great. Oh yeah, over to you.
Oh, absolutely. I see there's a stream of answers, and I see most answers are AI engineer. Well, it's hard to tell now because they keep changing, but I do see variety, right? And which is good. We need both people, right? We need both roles in every industry, pretty much. You need the AI engineer and the data scientist. I would say main distinction is if you're interested in solving for problems, also, if you are brave enough to tap into the unknown and be at the forefront of research, data scientist is your role, okay? On the other hand, for AI engineer, if you're a builder, you like to build things, you like to deal with the complexity of different systems and integrating things, then you can seek the AI engineer opportunity.
Can you move on to the next slide?
Yep.
Sure. Thank you so much. Yes, moving back on to the next slide here, talking about the industry trends. So what's going on in the industry right now? So as per Glassdoor, we can see that average annual salary for a data scientist in the US, will be 100, almost 100,000 K dollars, more than that. And there'll be a 27.7% growth rate of the data science industry. Will be seeing that. And also 322.9 billion. Uh, just let me go back here. I'm sorry, I think I'm not able to see the screen. My screen is visible, right?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, so there will be a $322.9 billion dollars forecast for the data science market in 2026. Again, like these are just industry trends we're talking about. Basil, why not also show them what is the demand right now in the market? We have talked a lot about the AI and data scientist engineer roles here. So maybe let's open a platform and let's see, what is the demand right now. Again, like this is dice.com. It you mostly has like US based global jobs here. So
Mhm.
maybe let's search for a data scientist job here, or a data scientist. Let's see how many jobs are there in the market as of now. Just doing a check here. Oh my God, there are almost 39,000 plus jobs. And I think
Okay.
these are just located, I think, mostly globally in the US. So you can see a lot of companies which are hiring. Uh, I'm just browsing through it just to give you an idea. And we are aware that you folks are joined globally from different countries, but we'll try to show as much as possible. So please don't mind. So yeah, these are like the number of jobs available ranging from an entry level to a mid-level to an experienced person in data science. And also maybe for the Indian region, let's check naukri.com and let's quickly see like how many jobs are there similarly for a data scientist. Let me just quickly go and search here. This should show for locally for the Indian region. And yeah, as you can see, as of today, there are almost 7,000 plus jobs here. And you can see the job roles here. And just browsing through it. Similarly, if we want to also check out maybe LinkedIn, let's also check out LinkedIn for a data science profile. Let me just go to LinkedIn. And just, okay, so let me just quickly search for it. Is it working? Let me open the job section. It's a bit slow, folks. Please don't mind. Yeah, this is basically for India. Let's search for comma. Yeah, I'll just search for worldwide here and let's see what are the results. Yeah. So worldwide, as of now today, there are almost 70,000 jobs available for the data scientist role. So again, like this is just to give an example of what's happening in the market. And going back to the slide, moving on to the next slide. Now that we've talked about a comparison between AI engineer and data scientist, the skills, the scope, and the opportunities here, what's happening in the industry as well. We would love to know what's stopping you from gaining these AI and data science expertise. So I'm just launching a quick poll here. And this poll is a multiple choice poll. So you can select multiple options when submitting. So I'll just read out these options for you as well. That first one here is I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. And the second one, I don't have the practical exposure I need to become job ready. And the third one, I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. And the fourth one, my work schedule won't allow me enough time learning. I see one message here on the chat that, I was actually trying to show the job availability in the market for a data scientist role. I hope that answers your question. Just quickly like showing you the real-time numbers. Awesome. I see most of you have started responding to the poll here. Again, like this one is a multiple choice poll. If these are not your concerns, the Q&A box is open for you folks. Due to a very high attendance, we might actually miss your questions of the chat box. And I see a lot of good questions coming in the chat box. So I wouldn't want to miss any of them while sharing it with Basil. So please move your questions to the Q&A box. This is a really good time because we would love to address all of your queries and help you out. So yeah, in any way possible in your career. Awesome. I see most of you responded for the poll, so let's give it last 5 seconds. So I'll be ending the poll now. Thank you so much. Thank you for your responses here. Also, let me just quickly share the results with you folks and our expert Basil here. Let's see what have you voted as a concern here. 51% or 54% of you have responded for I don't have the practical exposure, I need to become job ready. And 41% if you have responded for I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. And 33% of you have responded for my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. And 19% of you have given votes for I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Definitely gives us an understanding, what are your concerns, along with your Q&A questions there. We are also looking into it whenever the speaker gets time. If not, we will cover it towards the end in the Q&A. So moving on to the program introduction here, talking about the Applied AI and Data Science program by Brown University. Quickly introducing you to the program, and we'll be talking about the comprehensive curriculum, how exactly the learning path of the program looks like, what are the skills, what are the tools covered in the program, what are the hands-on projects covered in the program. So we'll be talking more about that. And this program has an online live discussion supplement, which is basically very helpful for self-paced learning. I'll show you the program page as well, where you can download the syllabus. Also, there'll be integrated assignments and quizzes for practical learning. We'll be talking more about that, how exactly it helps you in getting that hands-on experience. And also the program duration for this one is 3 months, and you can just complete it by giving 3 to 5 hours per week. And yeah, let's talking about the Brown difference here. So Brown was founded in 1764, known for its distinctive open curriculum, and it is an internationally renowned Ivy League university known for innovative education, multidisciplinary research, complex problem solving, and community service. And Brown has extensive network of over 100,000 alumni making an impact across various industries, over 10,000 students enrolled in undergraduate, graduate, and professional programs. So it's a very big alumni network, a very good, big and powerful alumni network that definitely makes that difference. When you join this program, you can add this to your resume, and yeah, it is one of the most prestigious universities, in the basic industry right now. And moving on to the next slide, talking about the eligibility and prerequisites. So how, basically, what are the requirements here for taking up the program? I think we have gotten a few questions like that. So I think this slide should definitely help address them. So you need to have a basic understanding of mathematics and programming concepts. And you need to be at least 18 years of age with a high school diploma or equivalent. And it is encouraged to have a prior work experience, but not required. Again, like having any kind of experience definitely helps, right? Anywhere, right? Any kind of professional experience, definitely a plus. If not also, that is not a compulsion for taking up the program. Now, moving on to the next slide, we'll be deep diving into the learning path. So how exactly this program by Brown University prepares you. Moving on to the learning part of the program. So Basil, if you can take us through how exactly this program by Brown University, builds the learners' applied AI and data science skills step by step.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see all these layers here. This basically give you a holistic view about the components that we want to showcase for the course. And when some of you probably raised a concern about I'm new to data science, new to AI, I think this will help explain that you don't have to worry about that concern, because we will teach you from scratch the concepts of applied AI and data science. Okay. And once we get you comfortable with these concepts, what we want to do is we want to look into applications of generative AI. We want to also look into deep learning, what it is, how it works, and what the difference between deep learning and traditional machine learning. And then we'll show you how you could train the model, prepare the model, understanding the data, looking into that data for how you could basically wrangle the data, put it together, integrate it. We also want to talk about the foundations of data science. So for the ones that raised a concern about mathematics and not having much knowledge in statistics, this is where we will discuss some of the statistics and mathematics that will be used in data science and AI applications.
Thank you so much, Basil, for taking us through the learning path here. Also, we have electives, the Academy Masterclasses by Brown University themselves. So the electives here are optional and they come as a part of the program. So you don't have to pay anything extra for that, but it is up to you if you want to take them on. Moving on to the next slide, we have a world-respected program faculty, Shrikar Prasad, who is an adjunct professor from Brown University. He basically is the professor of programming and data science at the Brown University Watson Institute, and he has held artificial intelligence, product technology leaderships at Meta Platforms, Wayfair, and Alphabet. Again, like we have, Shrikar Prasad, and then other amazing faculties, just like Basil, who are part of the program and they basically help you, achieve that greatness in this field. And moving on to the next slide, talking about the tools, libraries, and platforms. So, which we'll be covering in the program, Basil.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you've done any research on data science and machine learning in general, you'll see that there are two main branches, the two most common languages that are being used for that type of work. And you'll see Python versus R. Now, Python is becoming more popular and the industry standard for a lot of companies. So this course is going to focus on Python and its other components or add-ins, which they are called modules or libraries that could be added to Python to give it the data science and machine learning capabilities. So with that, we are going to look into Pandas, which is a data analytics, advanced data analytics library that helps you wrangle, manipulate, clean, and integrate your data together. Also NumPy that focuses on numerical matrices and arrays where you can do complex calculations that are necessary for machine learning. Matplot library is going to help you with visualization. And same for Seaborn. Think about Matplot as like the foundation for Python visualization. Python and Seaborn is more of an advanced extension in Python for dedicated for statistical visualization. And then SciPy is for also scientific analysis and statistical applications. And then we'll look into also some applications of connecting to ChatGPT API using Python.
Thank you so much, Basil, for taking us through the tools and platforms here, libraries here. Also, moving on to the industry aligned projects which this program also covers. I think when we did that vote, what's stopping you from, becoming AI or data scientist? So they have actually voted for the practical experience option. Basically, they actually are looking for some kind of support in terms of, creating those hands-on projects to showcase their future employees. So if you can take us through these projects, how exactly they will be helpful for folks who are looking for that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So our goal is to basically, and I know this could be a concern for some of you, is like, how can I apply AI and ML in my industry, right? And as I mentioned earlier, is that AI is available in every industry nowadays, right? So what we try to do is we try to give you an exposure to different industries, applications of AI in different industries. And these some of the projects. And I think I saw a bunch of questions like, what projects are we going to be working on? So some of the projects that we'll be working on, and this is not the only list, by the way, there are more projects, but these are the ones that we picked for this slide. So first of all, you have the retail sales analysis. So we're going to look into the retail industry, how you look into the data, how you put it together, how you try to derive insights from the data. And this basically focuses on the fourth quarter sales data for a company in Australia. And you can analyze the state by state sale and look into the how you could come up with data-driven decisions and deploy a machine learning algorithm for it. Another good example is for HR. So if you're involved in HR business, we have a project for employee turnover analysis, basically understanding the underlying factors of why certain employees are leaving the company and why certain employees are staying. And then this also involves some clustering analysis. This is part of what we call unsupervised learning, machine learning. and you'll be able to build clusters and analyze the different groups of your employees so you can make a decision about how you can retain the good employees. We also have loan repayment prediction. Loan analysis and employing machine learning is very popular nowadays because if you think about it, you have millions of people of applying online, and that could be very overwhelming for the mortgage of the or loan officers. So building a system that you can rely on to come up with an analysis, whether you approve or reject the application, it's very useful. Also, credit card fraudulent transactions. We understand the complexity of financial systems nowadays and the billions of transactions that happen on even a daily basis. So you need to deploy a machine learning or deep learning system that could spot the fraudulent transactions and flag them so they can be reviewed by experts.
Thank you so much, Basil, for taking us through the importance of these industry-based hands-on projects. Now, moving on to the next slide, talking about the learning environment here. So I'll just quickly just summarize all the things we have covered. We basically have a learning management system by Simplilearn, which helps you manage your curriculum, where you can go and see your progress to unlock the certificate from the university. And we have a live virtual classroom there as well, and a set of pre-recorded videos to give you the understanding. We have assessments and quizzes as well in the platform, and also the projects which we just covered for that hands-on experience as well. So yeah, and we also have support tools which are available 24/7 for you from Simplilearn in case you're facing an issue with the certificate or basically the live classes or the recorded sessions. Anything related to basically the program, we will be able to help you out. You can just drop us a message there and to the help section, and you should get a response within a few minutes. So yeah, and just to summarize that quickly. Now, moving on to the learner outcomes. Talking about the learner outcomes, so interestingly, the previous classes have consisted of learners, coming from industries like IT, software, BFSI, e-commerce, and also, world-class organizations. I think we saw some of that, right? When I shared with you the jobs which are available in the market. So just to name a few of these world-class organizations they come from, are SAP, Wells Fargo, Boeing, Siemens, Infosys, IBM, Amazon, EY, LinkedIn, Netflix, Bosch, Accenture. Again, like they are not just limited to it as we saw. These are just examples of the companies they come from. And also, why not also hear from the alumni themselves, right? Like, what are they saying? So let me just quickly, share our first learner review here. This is by Marcus Lindley, and he shares that the course is designed to provide a deep introduction to the field and covering essential topics from data exploration to predictive modeling and machine learning techniques. And instructors were knowledgeable and passionate, making the learning experience informative and enjoyable. Also, he secured new projects and increased his earning by 15%. We have one more learner review. This is by Samantha Holmes. Sam shares that she enrolled into the Applied AI in Data Science program by Brown University, and to keep her firm at the industry forefront, exploring AI integration. Despite initial intimidation returning to school after years, she found the program supportive, enabling significant learning, and the course was structured, welcoming, and helpful, and she learned a lot from it. So yeah, this is just to summarize, the basically alumni reviews here, just to give you an idea what they are saying. And now moving on to at the end of it all, what exactly you'll be getting. So you will be getting a certificate here. This will be from School of Professional Studies at Brown University online. And you can see the certificate here. It will be accredited by Brown University. And this will be for Applied AI and Data Science program. And your name will be here. And yeah, and you basically get to build and optimize machine learning models to enhance decision-making processes. So yeah, this is just to sum it up for you. And with this, we would like to conclude and love to know are you interested in enrolling into the Applied AI and Data Science program in Brown University? So I'm just launching a poll just to capture your interest here. Even after this, the learning consultants or simply, they will reach out to you and help you out with a walkthrough of the program, any questions you might have about the program. After this, we'll be quickly covering the enrollment steps of the program, where I'll share the program fee, the scan code for the program, and where you can go and let me just share the screen right now itself. Meanwhile, while most of you have already started responding. So folks on Zoom can respond to the poll which is live right now. Would you like to enroll into the program by Brown University? And you can share your responses yes there. And folks who have joined us on YouTube, you can also share your interest towards enrollment by going into the description of this video, and you will find the link towards the program there. The link which I'm opening right now. So similar enrollment steps will be followed for you. So again, like this is in the data science category. This is in the data science category, and I'll just quickly open the program. Yep. This is the program page. If I share the link with you, it might not, might not work. That is why I have the scan code, which I'll share after this slide. So yeah, this is basically the program page, and we can see it is of 3 months. It is a blended learning format, which we have already covered. You can see the key features here. You can see the certificate, which I've already shared. So again, like all these details, can be shared here. You can submit your few basic details by filling in your details here. And the skills covered, the tools covered, the projects covered, career support services from Simplilearn as well. For Indian region, we have IM Jobs Pro membership, which helps you with a wide employer network, resume building assistance, spotlight on IM Jobs as well. And for other regions also we have, and a lot of other learners reviews which you can check out. So mainly this link will be helpful for you to go and download the syllabus, which I'll share as I mentioned shortly. So yeah, going back to the slide, and yeah, I see most of you responded here. You folks are pretty quick, I must say, but let's give it like another 10-15 seconds before we move on towards the enrollment steps and close it with the Q&A. So let's quickly do that. So yeah, last 10 seconds for the poll, which is live right now. Are you interested in enrolling in the Applied AI Data Science program by Brown University here? You can share your response as yes for sharing your interest towards enrollment. I see a lot of questions in the Q&A box. We'll be touching upon them in the Q&A part of the session. So really good time. Any questions you might have about the program or this career path also in general, you can drop your query in the Q&A box, and yeah, we'll try to address all of your queries as much as possible. Yeah, please do that. Good time to go and put down your questions, especially for the folks who have left so many amazing questions in the webinar chat box. Please move them to the Q&A. Awesome. Last 5 seconds for the poll here. I see the poll is still moving, but I have to end the poll now. I'm so sorry. We have a little foundation on the time here. So last 5 seconds for the poll. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Still moving, but I have to end it. I'm so sorry. So yeah. Thank you so much for sharing, your interest towards enrollment. I think a lot of you have actually shared interest towards enrollment. So let me just quickly take you through the enrollment steps of the program. I see a lot of yeses on the chat as well. So that's great. I hope you have also voted for the poll here. That is how we can, reach out to you. So please do that. Enrollment steps, moving on to the steps here. So these are the 3 simple, easy steps the learning consultants from Simplilearn will, help you follow to enroll. So I'm just giving you an overview of it, what exactly happens now, both for folks who have joined us on Zoom and YouTube as well. Similar steps will be followed. Step 1 here is you'll have to submit an application. You'll have to apply at askus@simi.net. And the step 2 here is application will be going for review based on the eligibility and prerequisites which I've shared with you earlier. And yeah, based on that, we'll be getting the admissions offer from learning consultants on Simplilearn. So moving on to the next slide, talking about the upcoming cohort. So the cohort which is going on currently is going completely full. So this is the next closest one which you can opt for. The classes for this one is starting on July 16th, and the induction for this one is starting on July 10th. And for basically the price here for global learners here is $2,624 US dollars, and we also have financing options available. So in case you're looking for any installment options, EMI options, we do have partners for that region wise. I'll share the scan code. You will be able to see that once you open the link in your own region. Also, you can nudge that to the learning consultancy as well. They will also help you out. And for Indian region, the fee here is 1,35,000 INR rupees, including taxes. We also have, as I mentioned, EMI options, installment options available here as well for as low as 4,594 INR rupees per month. And also, even after the webinar, you have any questions, I'll just drop an email here, which is askus@simplilearn.net. And you can reach out to us there and let us know your queries there. So yeah, but yeah, we do have limited seats here. So in case you're planning to enroll into this particular cohort, yeah, you can basically go and quickly enroll. I'll share the program page scan code after this once we go to the thank you screen. But yeah, now we are in the Q&A part of the session, and we do have some time in hand. So let's utilize that. And Basil, yeah, we have a lot of questions here. Maybe let's just quickly browse through them and start addressing them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do see a lot of good questions here, and we won't be able to answer all of them because there's so many, but
Yeah.
I will highlight the ones that got brought up multiple times, and they do show it's good to share with others.
Mhm.
So someone is asking, why AI engineer or data scientist and not software development engineer? Well, there's a big difference. A software development engineer, they're solely focused on software development. They don't have any expertise in machine learning or AI. In fact, if a software development engineer learns about AI systems and starts working with AI systems, then they become AI engineers by default, right? Because you are basically a software engineer with AI knowledge. So that's why we're talking about AI engineer versus data scientist. All right, the next question is, this is from Utkarsh, and they're asking about, in order to get data scientist jobs, what mistakes we shouldn't make, what exactly the roadmap, and most importantly, how to define a problem to solve for. Yeah, very good questions here. Well, first of all, mistakes to not make. Honestly, data science is one of those fields where mistakes are kind of allowed, because if you think about it, you are a researcher, right? You are trying to explore what's going on with the data. So let's say you took on a project and you decided um, you want to pursue deploying a machine learning algorithm using supervised learning. And then you realize after spending a month or two that supervised learning or a specific machine learning algorithm did not work for it, and you have to switch to a totally different one. That is okay. That is part of your work, right? That is part of your responsibilities, that you need to experiment with different algorithms in order to find the best value. Now, obviously, you don't want to continue wasting time. You want to use your common sense, your expertise to avoid considering too many models that are not going to be useful. But making some mistakes by choosing the wrong model is not a big problem. You can always um, pivot and chase a different technique or approach. So basically on our team, we give a data scientist at least 3 months or 4 months sometimes to do the initial analysis for the data and deploying the machine learning algorithm, because we know that it takes time with trial and error and experimenting with different technologies and algorithms. But I would say for mistakes is to basically considering tools that are not going to be available for your company when it wants to deploy that in production, for example, or not following the exact objective, because you have to always ask, why are we researching this? Why are we trying to predict if patients have diabetes or not? How is that useful and impactful to our business? You don't want to waste your time with chasing an objective that is not going to be beneficial to your company. So you need to have a lot of subject matter expertise, whether it comes from you or from collaborating with your stakeholders that do have that expertise and can lead you to what is beneficial to your company? So good questions there. Other questions I see here. How does the AI function in the I guess you're saying in the mechanical engineering industry? Well, I can see a lot of examples. First of all, diagnosing car problems. So AI and machine learning can help with providing predictions or analyzing the data, and mechanics can use AI tools to look into the car sensors and identify potential issues, okay? And maybe even come up with prediction when the car is going to run out of, or when a specific part in the car is going to run out, right? Or wear out. Also can assist with scheduling and prediction for when the maintenance is needed for specific components in the car. It can also assist with part identification. So if you need to identify a specific component in a car, that is useful. So you can see how impactful AI is in every industry, right? Let's see. So that was a good question. Next. Someone is asking very intriguing question. What is the role of AI and machine learning in software industry? So how AI can help for software engineers in the next 10 years, and what is the impact? So I would say the impact is growing here. Um, um, I think some of you may have heard of the Copilot, GitHub Copilot, which is an autocomplete for coding. So you start coding, and let's say you have an idea. I want to build a loop and build something, specific. You start typing that, and your Copilot plugin will autocomplete and give you code syntax or suggestions or recommendations. So that's one application of it. It's powered by AI and what we call LLMs, large language models. Also, it can help with software functionality, evolving that software functionality. AI can basically help you build templates and help you facilitate the platform so you can do a lot of new functionalities in your software. And then another thing I can think of is testing, unit testing, or wide-based testing for your application. AI can help you test different scenarios of your application that you developed, regards to the language, the programming language. All right, let's see. How much time do we have left? We've got about 3 minutes left. Let me see if I can answer additional questions. Someone is asking, which is best, AI engineering or data science? I think that is a question for you to determine. Uh, After we explained all these nuances and factors that define an AI engineer data science, you have to ask yourself the main question here. Do I enjoy exploring new things, breaking down complexity, and solving for problems? On top of that, communication with stakeholders. You have to have solid communication skills with stakeholders. Then if the answer is yes, then you can seek data science. But AI engineer, if you enjoy building complex systems, right? You're an engineer, you have a mentality of a builder slash engineer, then yes, you can be an AI engineer. And you're always interested in how all the AI systems can be integrated together with software engineering systems, that also works. So that means you have a passion to become an AI engineer. All right. We've got a minute left for one more question. Let me see here. I think some of you, I'll try to combine this question, multiple questions with the same topic. Some of you have concerns about career pivot. I would say this course will be suitable for even the individuals that are doing a career pivot because it starts with the foundations. Now, this course will give you opportunity to self-learn. And it doesn't mean that you just go online and you try to explore things. No, we are going to give you a learning path, what things you need to learn about. We'll give you recorded sessions. We also have mentoring sessions. So people like me and others will conduct every 2 weeks, 2 hours, 3-hour mentoring sessions where you can ask questions We also have Slack channels where you can ask questions anytime. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to wait for those scheduled sessions. But you can ask questions so we can help you and assist you with your learning journey. And then you have also those projects that are going to help you with practical knowledge and how you could dive into the data and run and deploy your program yourself. So I hope that helps. I don't want you guys to get out of this with feeling intimidated by the concept of AI and machine learning. I feel like the course was curated for different levels of background and knowledge in AI and machine learning. And the people who are considering pivoting in their career and changing paths, they should find the career path very useful and relevant, especially for the ones that haven't programmed before, because we do have foundational components in the course.
Thank you so much, Basil, for taking up the time first of all for this webinar, Career Masterclass. I think this has been like one of the most interesting topics we have covered. I think we can see that from the audience response. We have not ended it, but we are getting a lot of appreciation here, especially for you here, for a great presentation and insights about this program and also the topic we covered. So before we end the session, we'll be doing a webinar certificate poll. But before that, we would also love to know from you as well, as we saw a lot of interest towards enrollment, right? So what would you say to these folks who have enrolled and also folks who are still exploring? Yeah, Basil, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that what would you like to say to the folks who have enrolled into the course, shared an interest, but also for your folks who are still exploring, what would you like to say to them to conclude?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the ones that are attending today, that you guys are on the right path, right? Even if you're started from scratch, you are basically seeking knowledge and seeking information about how you can start. What is the first step to take? And I'm glad you're here. So definitely encourage you to not feel intimidated by this. I mean, AI and machine learning field is vast, but if you take things one step at a time, I'm sure you'll be able to achieve your goal at the end.
Thank you so much, Basil. Thank you. It's always a pleasure hosting you, and a lot of appreciation. You can see it on the chat as well. Meanwhile, folks, please keep bringing your appreciation here. But I would quickly like to move to the webinar certificate poll. But before that, we also would love to know how was the session for you. How satisfied are you with the content of the session? And you can rate us out of 5, 5 being the highest excellent. If you were satisfied with the content, if you liked the session, you can rate us 5. And let's give it like 10 seconds for this poll, and then we move on to the webinar certificate poll for capturing your full names to personalize the certificate and send it to you. I think I also shared on the chat, folks actually are already sharing their certificates on LinkedIn, and you can also tag our expert Basil as well and Simplilearn handle. And what you can do is you can also share insights about the session, and folks are sharing it by using the hashtag SimplyGrow. I've shared it on the chat here. You can just quickly go to this link and follow it, and you'll be seeing globally folks are sharing their certificates, insights about the session, and support them, and connect with like-minded folks. And I think you will receive the certificate within 24 to 48 hours post webinar, so you can also basically share that with your network and any insights you might have. Awesome. I think folks have already voted, responded for this poll. So last 5 seconds, moving before we move on to the webinar certificate poll. How satisfied are you with the content of the session? You can rate us out of 5, 5 being the highest, which is on basically on live right now. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. A lot of 5s on the chat as well. Thank you for the excitement here, and thank you for being an amazing audience, I must say. So launching the next poll. This is for the certificate poll. Quickly. A lot of 5s on the chat, Basil. So great. That's great.
That's good to see.
Thank you so much for the appreciation, folks. The certificate poll is live, and this is how the certificate participation looks like. And this is where your name will be. And this is what we need from you. So we can, personalize the certificate and send it to you. So you can quickly just go and, submit your name there. And folks who are submitting the names will get the webinar certificate. And yeah, this will be for the career masterclass AI versus data scientist skill roles and opportunities provided by Simplilearn. So quick 10 seconds for the poll. Folks are pretty quick. Most of you have already responded. And folks, I understand if you are not able to address any queries, or you might have queries even after the session. As I mentioned, you can still reach out to us. Please don't worry. You can reach out to us at askus@simple.net. I'm sharing this email ID on the chat here, and appreciating the 5 still on the chat, but I'm just sharing the chat email ID on the chat here. askus@simple.net. You can just make a note of it. And if you want basically more details about the program, you can either check out the scan code which I've shown you, or also you will be getting a mail with all the details as well. So you can look out for that as well, and the recording as well. So yeah, I think most of you have submitted here. So I'll just give last 5 seconds for the webinar certificate poll. And the scan code is on right now again on the screen. Please scan it from your mobile, from your camera or Google, and it should take you to the landing page where you can download the syllabus. Definitely will help you in knowing more about the program and asking any questions to the learning consultants you might have. So last 5 seconds for the poll. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. Thank you for again once again for being an amazing audience, and thank you for the support you have shown for our expert here. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the comments on the chat. Thank you so much, Basil. Once again, thank you for an amazing session. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. Have a good day. Thank you so much once again, folks. And you can also check out, I think I've shared a link in case you're still exploring and you want to, attend these free sessions to explore the field which you want to go in. I'm just quickly trying to go back. Yeah, I'm just sharing the link here towards upcoming webinars we have lined up for you. So you can just open this link and register for more such events. Thank you so much. Yes, and I want this type of session in the future. I'll just read out a few comments here. Thank you so much. Really appreciating your comments on the chat here. A lot of 5s here as well. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you.